Hello, hello everyone. My name is Saujanya, and today I'm going to showcase my final project which I have performed for Info 5709. My final project is based on the Spotify dataset which I retrieved from Kregel. So my main motivation for doing this project is that I'm a huge music lover and I listen to songs all the time. I download multiple songs from all the sources, which includes mobile apps, um, from the desktop, everywhere. Spotify is one of the most popular streaming service which I found, and according to a latest survey, it is said that it has 60 million songs in its application and is used by 300 million subscribers from all over the world. Our world is moving fast, and we see that every day new music gets released. And sometimes I feel that we get lost of the old songs which we used to cherish earlier. I hope this study helps in recovery of some of the treasures which we lost and also aid in selection of some relevant features for the development of a recommendation system in these streaming services, which will help us in looking for the results efficiently and faster. So, for doing this project, I have used Google Colab and Python libraries. Before starting my data analysis, I have a data analysis. I thought I should look for the data. I should look for the redundant or unnecessary values which are present in my dataset, so that it will help me in creating a better visualization. So, in order to work efficiently with the data, I need to prepare it in an appropriate format, for which I have performed these following steps. I looked for the null and duplicate values which were in my datasets, and there were certain columns in the dataset which are not user friendly. Like if there is, by using certain functions, if there is a chance that we could rename those columns, it would be user friendly, so I renamed those columns. I have changed some data types of few columns, and also I have my data set contains certain negative values which are not necessarily needed, so I change them to the positive values. So each step is clearly explained in my further slides. So coming to the um, uh, unnecessary values in my first step, which I was telling earlier. So we checked for the duplicate and null values and found that there are no missing and duplicate information in the data. We have performed these actions using df.insa.sum function and duplicate function. Here from this screenshot you can clearly see that there are no duplicate values in my dataset, and index, title, artist, top, genre, and these are all the column names which are present in my dataset. Second, we have changed the column names using rename function. So they so we have changed, there is a column name called length duration, so which tells us the duration of the song. So we have renamed length duration to duration seconds, and there is a column which defines the genre or the theme of the song. We have renamed that particular column from particular variable name from top genre to genre for the clarity and consistency. In the step 3, in order to make the analysis of the information, we used df.as type to change the data type of duration second variable from object to integer type. So here you can see that df.replaced, we have used this regex and in place. So this is done because replacing the comma from a number will make it available to use the replace function. And for the final step, as I have earlier mentioned, that there are certain negative values in my dataset. So those negative values are present in a variable called loudness.dp. This actually this variable actually explains how loud is the song, what is the tempo of the tone, what is the intensity of the song. So higher the number, higher the intensity, higher the value, higher would be the intensity of the song. So we notice that there are negative numbers in the loudness in this particular variable named loudness dB. To make everything positive, we used ABS function. So as my all the data is set, I'm proceeding to present this data in visualizations. I'm going to present the available data for visualizations. So our first step was an attempt at data analysis using a correlation matrix and a box plot before we moved on to the visualizations proper. This is useful for summarizing data as a precursor for a more complex analysis. This allows an individual to understand the correlations between the variables. So below are the maps which I used for my final presentation. So these are my questions. These are my hypothesis questions which I used. So I wanted to know in the year 2018 what are the popular songs in Spotify. To understand that, we used group by with some function on the popularity and artist variables and it defines the artist with high marks of popularity. Doing this helped us in grouping the results and it made us easy to visualize the data. So here we can see we have grouped the data using popularity and artist, and we got that in the year 2018, Lady Gaga was on the top. So the same thing is represented here. How many high-intensity songs are released from 1960 to 2020 was my second hypothesis question. The data were analyzed so that we could present the songs that were released between this time period with a high energy and a high level of volumes. We used a scatter plot to visualize the data, and the variables we used were loudness and the ear. And third hypothesis question, which I used here, is what are the genres which detected the highest presence of an audience in the recording? So for that also I used group by function, and I have sorted out the value in the ascending order, and the visualization is given here. So I believe that new variables are consistently being added on the Spotify dataset so that the analysis can be conducted. There, in my opinion, much more we can learn from Spotify datasets. For example, we could examine the patterns in how people are receptive to new types of music and sound. Conducting in-depth research on the above-mentioned advanced features can help in assisting their product as well. If ever I was given an opportunity to perform such analysis, I would greatly be happy in doing it. And now I would like to show my working. I would like to show the. I would like. So this is the working of. This is the working example, working demonstration of the code which I have written in Google Colabs. This is my CSV file which I imported. I used NumPy, Pandas, and Seaborn library to execute this to perform this data analysis. Here I am reading the file using pd.read, and now it displays all the columns which are available. To have the more in-depth knowledge on the data sets what I am using, I use certain functions called df.info to understand how many columns and rows are there in the same data set. I use df.shape. And df.describe is more similar to df.info, but it gives you the detailed information, more description about the dataset what we have. After that, I started my EDA, exploratory data analysis, by locating the null values and the by by locating the null values and the duplicate values present in the data set. And after that I renamed duration and length here, duration length dot duration column to durations dot seconds. Here it is. So this is working fine. And now after that I wanted to see if it is showing what is the data type of the my variable duration dot seconds, as it is in an object, but the numbers which are there here are integers. So I wanted the data type to change to integer, for which I initially used replace, because replace function, and then I used ds.as type to convert an string to an integer. So after executing this, when I checked what is the data type, it showed me as an integer. After that, I also renamed one of my variable, which is named as top genre to genre. And this is the count of, like, these are the different genres present in my data set, and this is the count which I have for each genre. And this is a variable which has negative values in it. So by using ABS function, I converted all these negative values to a positive value. So here are my visualizations. As I explained earlier, this is the work which I have performed on the Spotify data sets, and this is a visualization to understand how what are the most um, energizing songs which got released on Spotify in the year of 2018. I'm sorry, 2018. I tried multiple years, so this might be a small problem which I ignored. So this is the data for 2018, and this is a visualization which shows how many intensity songs got released from 1960 to 2020. And this is a visualization um, to show that what are the songs which has highest presence of audience while recording the song. Um, this is an extra visualizations which I have created but not given in the presentation, is that what are the top 20 songs with high tempo in 2018. So these are the songs, and I created a subplot using this results. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to present this data. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.